In this video, I'm going to be giving you a few tips on teaching your dog to have better manners on the leash. I'm going to be working with this Newfoundland puppy today. He was dropped off several days ago and he came to me on a harness, and it was really difficult for me to hold him back or move him around anywhere. I really had to brace in order to hold him. And so one thing that I did is I went ahead and put a pinch collar on him so to give me a little bit more control while I'm teaching him how to be better on the leash. And one of the first things that I do with the dog is I teach them how to pull off of pressure on the leash. And this is a very important skill that really all your dogs really need to learn, so that they're not pulling you around when they want to smell something, or if they want to go greet somebody, they're not dragging you over to that person. And to give you an example of what I'm talking about, I'm going to go ahead and use a little bit of food to show you. So I'm going to get him interested in the food. I'm just going to toss it, then I'm going to hold. See that pressure on the leash there? I want to show him that he can't pull through pressure. Now he backed up, okay. And then I release him to that food. All right, so if your dog is trying to pull you over to a smell that they want to investigate, or they want to go meet a person, it's really important that you don't let your dog pull you over to that person. They need to learn that when there's pressure on the leash, they're not going to be able to pull through that pressure. And so this is one of the first things I teach, rather than go ahead and start teaching them how to walk at my side or anything like that. I just want to show them how to navigate leash pressure. So again, let's say I toss a little bit of food and he wants it. Pressure, pressure. Okay, and now watch, I want to put some slack in and see if he's pressure. Now I've got slack in my leash, pressure. So he's still moving toward the food. Now it's slack. Okay, good boy. So I want to show him that he thinks the best way to get the food is when he hits the end of that leash to keep trying to pull through that pressure. And when I show him, actually it's to relax. All right, so he could relax into a sit, or he could just back off that pressure, and I can guide him to show him what I want, and then I'm going to make it clear to him when I'm letting him move forward. So let's just say if a person approached, instead of letting him pull me to that person to be pet, I'm going to hold off until he relaxes on that pressure, and then I may say something like, okay, you can go say hello. Same thing if we're walking along and then he smells something that he wants to go investigate, so I'm going to take him over to this fence. If he tries to pull me over there, I'm not going to allow it. So watch this. Let's go. And he probably smells the food on me, so he's really intent on paying attention to me right now. So I'm going to use a little food to show you again. So let's say there was a smell over there. There's pressure on that leash. Now he's backing up. See, pressure. Good boy. Okay. And so that time, he even looked back and made some eye contact with me, right? Because he's learning that I'm relevant into this situation. Now another thing that's good to know is if you have a really young puppy, or sometimes these really bigger dogs, they learn how to resist that pressure, and sometimes you'll find them either lay down and not want to move, or with a young puppy they tend to buck against that pressure. So let's say if I want him to come to me, if I put pressure here with a young puppy, they tend to try to back out of that pressure. Some dogs, these big dogs, sometimes learn that they can just sit and resist that pressure. If you're finding your dog does that, so if I pull and he doesn't move, I want to give him some body language. Maybe I bend down. As soon as he moves toward me, I release that pressure. All right, so it's really important that our dogs learn to go with whatever pressure we're applying. So you can think of it as like directional pressure, right? So if I want to go this way, the dog learns. Then when I pull that way, I'm going to release pressure. If I want to go this way, that releases pressure. If I want the dog to come to me, it releases as soon as the dog makes that movement toward me. If they're trying to get away from me and I put pressure on, I don't want the dog to try to get low and try to force their way through that pressure. And so this is one of the first steps that I'll do. So with him, I just kind of practice walking around the yard. Every time he hit the end of the leash, I kind of stop, let him calm down, and then I'll let him go again. As he improves in understanding how that leash pressure works, then we'll start to do more formal type walking. So go ahead, and I want you to practice with your dog, and you can put your dog in a number of situations. You may practice putting your dog on a leash and let someone walk through your front door, and if your dog gets really excited about wanting to go and greet them, don't allow that. Wait till your dog comes off that pressure, relaxes a little bit, and then make it clear, okay, you can say hi. And this just teaches dogs how to be what I call light on the leash. All right, so just as if I'm standing here, I don't want him trying to force his way over this way or force his way over that way. I want to be able to stand and talk right to the camera and have slack in my leash. And if he tries to pull me that way, I'm not going to allow it. What I want him to understand is I'm going to allow it when I say. So, okay, let's go check it out. So I can allow him to smell and sniff all I want, right? I'm not withholding things from him. I'm just saying that there are times when you can't go access those things on your own. You need to wait for me. And again, if I want him to come with me, there's pressure. Let's go. Pressure, 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 and release. Good boy. Good. And I'm going to reward him for that. All right, so try to implement some of these tips with your dog and let me know how it goes.